then the board is formed around a political party. That's why you saw a board chairman at MPP meeting. He may be an expertise, intelligent, but the person will come there and be doing political bidding. We have people who can do the job properly, but there are people who are like, for example, they are NDC, but not too partisan. There are some they are MPP, but they are not too partisan. You can allow them to do their work. You get it? Now, Robicon, to some extent, somebody wants to win a traditional leader to his side and come and tell him, Chief, can you give me 2 people to be cleaning the hospital? So they are trying to win the loyalty of that chief. Now, can you give me 2 people to become securities?
They are buying the chief.
So they will bring them. So anything they come and tell the chief, you will listen to them, because probably you had a family member who was a liability on your neck. You relieved the person off your head. So no matter what, even when they are killing people at the hospital and they come and report such people to you, you can't act.
Somebody goes there. He goes there with his bungma.
Yes.
How do they call it?
Yes, bungma.
Bungma.
And put a white towel on the shoulder. Meanwhile, he's a cleaner. And sitting like this.
A cleaner.
Which desk can ask him to come
cleaner.
And
You go there with your smoke.
Yes.
And then you put your white towel and wear a cap. And then you say you are a chief. When they say go and clean this, you say no. I'm a chief. I don't clean.
When I was a porter, I will carry patients to the ward, and I come back, the whole place is soiled. You know what? The cleaner is a chief. You have to come and say, nah, they so. Nah. There's blood. And he tell you, just pick them up and go and mop it for me.
Because he's a chief.
He's a chief.
And they employed him as a cleaner.
How can he clean?
You can't send him to clean. I can't be.
You get it? Someone is a security. Meanwhile, he's carrying a bed to his house.
No, you see one thing I heard.
So who watches the watchman?
The gentleman, I mean, the guy that called me.
My never say my PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, or see them yopo
sacked or not. No, that is not the point I'm making. But we want to see a turnaround. So that's why I've invited Dr. Seidu Fita in the studio, so that we can look at this particular matter, because he has had some fidelity with the facility, or would I even say that he's always been around the facility. Whilst they are always speaking in Dagbani, we thought that no, let's talk in English as well, because there are certain people who do not even understand Dagbani like myself. So we need to have a conversation and then get to understand what's wrong with the Tamale Teaching Hospital. So he's here in the studio. Yes, Chairman. I hope you are doing well.
By the grace of God, I'm fine.
I was told that currently, I told you that Musa Dankwa, if he has to conduct a survey,
I am the most trending.
They say you are trending.
Yeah,
anyway,
we are just doing our job.
You know, issues about Tamale Teaching Hospital.
Right.
I mean, they've come into the news for, various reasons.
Right.
If not the death of somebody, but certainly people describe it as negligence. Right. I don't really know. Negligence seems a very bigger word for me, but depending on who really got, his tempers, flaring up, will know which language and which language not to use or to use. I have certainly monitored Tamale Teaching. Ever since that this conversation came up, people were expecting that I should have a conversation. I should talk about it. But I decided that let me low and allow people, let the conversation generate, come up by itself.
You can vent.
Because
so
when you jump into matters of that nature, if you don't take time, you crash when you don't even appreciate the matters.
Right.
So I think it's very important that we look at these things as such. Sure. So you have actually been around the hospital. You have followed events.
Right.
And I think one of the gentleman who passed on, you had some relationship with this individual.
Sure.
What have you been hearing all this while, and the issues that happens? I think yesterday even the health minister was in town, and leading to the sacking of the CEO. So far, let's take it from the grounds.
Right.
What actually brought this recent conversation? Then we can now do a postmortem of the things that have been happening at the hospital.
Right.
and to the minister's intervention.
Okay.
So you let us understand
So,
the TTH.
yes.
People say it's now a death trap. Is it? Because you
it is. It's obviously not a death trap. Tamale Teaching Hospital is one of the best facilities we have in the northern region, and in West Africa, one of the best in West Africa also. Robicon, let me add that the emergency center of Tamale Teaching Hospital is the second busiest emergency center in Ghana, behind Kolebu Teaching Hospital. Before I go into the details of the matter, what caused the death, negligence people can describe it. Some can say wickedness. Some can say lack of appreciation of human life. Some can say lack of respect for human dignity. Whichever way you want to describe it, you won't be wrong. And let me just say it is by coincidence that Dr. Atiku is gone. Whether we like it or not, he would have been gone. I mean, we all know the precedents. We know the history. Political parties, they come and they play with the CEO position in all the hospitals, not only in Tamale. Akombong, Akolibila, whoever. Dr. Karim, he is the only one who went to Accra, sent a resignation down and never returned to Tamale Teaching Hospital. Any other person appointed by a political party. So whether this matter had come up or not, he probably would have been gone. Whether it had come up or not, he probably, Robicon, would have been gone, because this is a new government, and its people would also be lobbying for the CEO to be removed, so that their person can also come in. You understand? But I think that it coincided with issues that came up concerning the death of Saleem Ahibavuk, who lost his life painfully through so many things that happened at the facility. And following on social media, you can see many people are sharing their experiences concerning how Bavuk died, and I mean concerning their own experiences. If you ask me, Robicon, if you ask me, I will say that the appointing authority, that is respectfully His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, probably in collaboration with the health minister, could have waited for the 3-member committee the minister wanted to, sit together to look into the matter that led to the death of Saleem.
No, but the minister has already indicated that his sacking has nothing to do with the death of the young man.
He mentioned that, right?
Yes, I heard the minister.
Excellent.
He said that, I mean, this particular committee is actually running an audit onto the death.
Right.
But the sacking of the chief executive officer has nothing to do with the death. It is
constant.
It's not just the...
It is
based
constant.
on what his assessment of the facility,
right,
and some of the things that came up.
That's why I'm saying that he would have been gone anyways. Because, I mean...
It's a yearly... It's an election ritual.
I mean, Dr. Atik found himself in the office because of politics. And left to me, I would have rooted that he continue. I mean, personally, I would have rooted that he continue. But if he's going, it is because his political party is not also in power, and another political party is in. That can also boast of.
Was he an MPP?
That I am hearing from other sources, credible sources, of course. But you also know, I mean, according to history, no government has come in of recent times to appoint a different political party person to
a person who's not in line with
who is not in line with their political party. No, who's not even their member. It's about membership. Let's not be covering it. It's our membership. A person being an MPP or NDC. So, which is unfortunate anyway, because we should have been looking at competence and someone who is firm to manage the affairs of the Tamale Teaching Hospital. But it's not only Tamale Teaching Hospital, even Rich Hospital. You remember Dr. Thomas Anaba was CEO. He was removed when the MPP came to power in 2017. That they removed him, and he had to come back to his facility in Tamale, worked his way through to Parliament today, and he's a member of Parliament. So he would have been gone. So people should separate that one from the issue that happened. Robicon, on Friday, after I took a lecture, came down, and I was taking a friend around the UDS Tamale campus. Saleem is a boy that I have known for 6 years today. When he started his diploma at UDS Faculty of Education, then after completing, he continued with his degree for another 3 years, Robicon. And He graduated, I think that was last year. And because of lack of employment or job, he started doing his own delivery services. But we've stayed in touch.
Okay.
We've just been talking to each other. So on Friday, I was with him. He rode a motorbike to campus to deliver a parcel to someone. He saw me standing with some guests. Stops to greet me, and I told him to move on and call me the next day. The next day was Saturday. I didn't get a call from him. On Sunday around 2, one of his friends called to inform me that he was battling for his life at the Tamale teaching hospital. Robbie, are we together?
I'm here.
Around 2:30, that he was battling for his life at the Tamale teaching hospital. I asked where, and he said red zone. So being familiar with the Tamale teaching hospital, I know orange zone of the emergency, I know yellow zone of the emergency, and I know red.
So when they say red,
red, I know it is a critical aspect of the emergency. And you know, when they say red, it means that every essential services and every expert must be at that facility.
Yeah.
But anybody they bring to red, it means the person need premium,
serious attention
to get back to the fit. You get that? Now, when I got there, he was struggling to breathe. He was struggling, and he was on oxygen. And you know, when you look at red zone, there are piped oxygens. And when there's an oxygen, even a layman will see a transparent tube. They put it, there's a substance inside which looks like water, and you see ball rolling in. This thing, when you see it, the purpose of that is to humidify the throat of the person receiving the oxygen, because you know it goes through the throat to the lungs for the person to breathe well. Now, there was no water in this pipe. It means that they were even drying the throat of the young man, in addition to him struggling to breathe. It was someone's responsibility to make sure there was water in that tube in the first instance, which I detected. I mean, you know, I am a 6-year trained person in medical laboratory science, so I am a clinical person and I understand these basic things. Now, Robicon, then I asked one of the nurses to know the diagnosis of the young man. So when I checked, I realized that his previous diagnosis was PUD. That is peptic ulcer disease. Then the condition that he was battling was PE. That is pulmonary embolism. And that is when there's a clot in the lungs, it becomes difficult for the person to breathe. The only thing the person will need probably will just be some drugs or a ventilator, preferably a ventilator, to open the pipes up so that the little energy left in him, he can use it to give energy to his take care of his kidneys and brains. The little energy left in him, he will use it to, take care of his kidneys and his brains. But here is a case where Saleem was left on his own to be struggling to feed his kidneys, to feed his brain, and to even keep himself alive. The intensive care unit, but they called them to come and pick Saleem to that ward so they can do the intubation there for him to live. But for many hours, the only response they got was that there was no bed. Something Dr. Valentine in the video confirmed to the minister.
Yeah, I think we have the video, so I'm sure Bernard will show
that he called and the ward claimed there was no bed. Now question, you can't trust human being 100%. Some come to the hospital, they just want to be resting. Some medical officers, some nurses, etc. And you see, one point we must draw is that every profession professional deserve respect. Journalists deserve respect. Lecturer deserve respect. The President of the Republic of Ghana deserve respect. A nurse deserves respect. A doctor deserves same. In fact, a farmer deserves same. But none of them is beyond criticism.
Yeah.
Because in all facets of professions, we have the good ones and the bad ones.
Oh, you have people who misconduct themselves, yes.
So nobody is above criticism. That line must be drawn. Especially the teaching hospital mandate is to make sure we provide quality services to people and save lives. But there's a business aspect of it which we need to run and make sure you generate funds at the end of the day so you can be able to run some affairs within the facility. Now, this young man had difficulty breathing, and when I asked, the answer was that there was no bed at the intensive care unit where he was supposed to be moved to, so an intubation can be performed on him to survive. Then I took it upon myself to go confirm whether there was really a bed or not. When I walked up, I saw 6 health professionals. I couldn't tell whether all of them were doctors, but 2 were sitting on the right side and 4 were sitting in a cubicle. When they saw me, I am sure some of them know me. They stood up and asked me what I was doing at the intensive care unit. Then I told them, I have a son of mine who is battling for his life at the red zone of the accident and emergency ward. And when I came asking questions why they are not doing intubation with a ventilator, they said they don't have a ventilator. And the ventilator is at the ICU, a place where they called to request for a bed, and they were told there was no bed. But I can see visibly 2 empty beds standing there. I saw 4 beds, 2 were occupied and 2 were empty. So it means that the information that I received, or probably was given to Dr. Valentine, that they didn't have beds, turned out not to be true. Let's even agree, without even admitting that, as at the time he called them, they didn't have a bed. But subsequently, when a space was made, why didn't they alert the red zone to bring Saleem up for intubation to be done? That was not done. Then one doctor said, oh, let me follow you and go and do assessment and see before we come back. Robicon, the young guy followed me. We came up, he did assessment of Saleem and told me he want to go up. So they can alert an anesthetist to perform the intubation. But I was also shocked at that, because emergency doctors and nurses can perform intubation with a ventilator. You don't need an anesthetist to do that, because that is not an operation. It's not a cesarean session. Now let me even pretend, or let me even admit that, Robicon, I am ignorant about the procedure, right? Are we saying we have only one anesthetist at the Tamale Teaching Hospital?
No, I don't think that would be possible.
So couldn't we have called one to come and attend to Saleem? Is it because an anesthetist was not there, or there was no bed? Because I went and confirmed that there was a bed. There were 2 beds, empty ones. So when I was leaving, and by the time I was called,
so before you even go ahead, in this instance, can we say they were slow or they were just negligent?
They were negligent. When I went up, they were sitting down comfortably, and the beds were 2. They were empty. So if you were called as a ward that we have a patient at red zone, and the patient is supposed to be on a ventilator, and it's after the time they called you, let's even assume after the time Valentine called, the beds were full. But later when you did at discharges and 2 beds were empty, you were supposed to call back at the ward and tell them that there are 2 empty beds, they can bring the patient up. Right, Robicon? Or better still, the ventilator is something that you can move. If you think that moving Saleem to the top will be a problem, why not move the ventilator down? He was lying on a bed at the red zone. So if you don't have a bed, you can send the ventilator down, because the ventilator is movable. So why did we allow him to continue struggling there from morning to around 2 getting to 3 o'clock? So I had lost a brother, so I was going to the funeral when I was called. Then I had to cut it short and go to the hospital to check on Saleem. So I told one of the nurses that now that I've gotten an assurance from the doctor, I will go back to the funeral to see how they will bury my brother. Then I come back and check on Saleem immediately. And he followed me out and told me, doctor, in an hour, if we are not able to work on Saleem, you lose your guy. So even the nurse, admittedly, he knows or he knew that without the ventilator, Saleem would die. Then I asked him, so if the ventilator is on Saleem, he will survive? He said yes. He will walk home healthy. So who was holding on to the ventilator? Rubicon. Who was holding on to it?
So that's the part of the negligence
so
that led
when I was going so when I was getting to the funeral grounds, then the same nurse called me and told me, Doc, your guy has given up the ghost. Saleem is gone. That was how Saleem died. Someone I met on Friday, expecting his call on Saturday, and on Sunday I was burying the person. Negligence completely. And the commentaries that were coming in fact, one professional told someone that the way I shared on social media, I was trying to incite people against the facility. And I said, no, people have their own experiences about the facility. Some people, we have wonderful guys. Like I was commenting, you saw my post yesterday about Dr. Valentine. I know what he does to people. I know that he uses his money sometimes to feed patients. Not only him. People bring their patients and they abandon the patient and run home. You have nurses and you have doctors who uses their own money to feed the patients until they recover and go back home. We have professionals at the hospital who use their own money to pay for medical bills for patients to go home. But we have some who are terribly wicked and intentionally see patients suffer.
Okay, so we get the story. The harrowing story about the young man Saleem, and what caused the death. So one clearly can say is complete negligence that led to the exit. One also want to go in the spiritual and say, oh, that's what God wants. But I think certain things it's just the human.
I keep saying that death is not normal. Death is a sad end of man, but it is not normal.
Some of them are avoidable. Some of them can
at
actually
a certain
be
age. Believe me, if not for sickness, you are not supposed to die. It's not normal.
So now,
why is it that in other jurisdictions they can live for a year without anyone dying, but here every now and then we are dying? Is it that God hates us?
Somebody says that petty ailments just takes our people away.
Yes.
But now let's look at clearly the Tamale Teaching Hospital has a problem.
Right.
And I have been in Tamale for some time now, and I can tell you that ever since I came into Tamale, I'm getting to almost 16, 17 years in Tamale. So basically, I appreciate the things that Tamale Hospital has gone through over the last period. The couple of years. Yeah. Now, and I have realized that consistently, there's always been a change of CEOs. Every time, I did a story about the Tamale Teaching Hospital. I think this would be about, if not 4 years ago, when Musa Superior was still there. I think that should be about 4 years ago, or when he had just exited. And this was a report I got from an insider who indicated to me that the directors at the hospital were really, causing the hospital a lot of problems.
Right.
And with the few years that he has worked there, he was a classmate. So he indicated that, look, that is, if they even bring JM, I think somebody's saying it lately.
Yes.
But as of that time, Akufo-Addo. But so now we say that if they even bring John Mahama to be CEO of Teaching Hospital, but they'll end up sacking him.
I agree.
Because people are surrounded, or people are around the facility who are into leadership position. If their interest is not served, then nobody will succeed.
Sure.
And I've realized that time after time, they will change a CEO. Even at some point in time, we'll see stacked illiterates who even failed BEC exams walk to the TTH and tell a professional doctor that he's incompetent.
Yes.
This is a level at which things actually they used to bring that Kandahar boys. They were all kind of boys with different names. They can move to the TTH and then sack a doctor and a CEO and says that he's not competent. He's running the place down. This was because some directors, when their interests are not served, they will link up with boys in town to do who and run to the hospital and cause problems. Just because for them to remove that person and fix somebody that they want. And it has gone on for a lot of time. And I can say that from the time I came till this period, or to the moment, I've realized that if not about 6 different people have been changed
Yeah.
If not more, I'm just trying to be very careful, because if not even more, CEOs have actually been changed at the Tamale Teaching Hospital, and still the problems are still there.
Right.
I don't know. You have equally been to the place. I mean, you have worked closely to that place. A friend to the hospital.
Right.
I don't know whether you also seen things like that. Just yesterday, somebody gave me. I will say it later on. But the stories the person was giving made me understand that even if John Mahama changes the CEO, and nothing is done within the various departments, it's definitely going to be a problem.
You see, Robicon, I don't see this current CEO, the newly appointed one, surviving in this position. I don't think he can.
Someone says that he's part of the problem, but I don't know him though.
I can't tell though, but he's moving from UDS to the hospital, so I don't know how he was part of the. I think he's a urologist. So I think he's worked with the hospital before. I mean, coming to UDS and now returning to the hospital. But I can say that it will be difficult for him to survive as CEO, just CEO. It will be very difficult for him to survive.
No, but if people are alleging that he's equally part of the problem, why can't he survive?
I am coming. My reason is simple. Over the past 8 years of Nanado's leadership, we have changed like 4 chief executive officers, and none of them is able to change the things.
Even one of them resigned within a short period.
Dr. Karim, he traveled to Accra and sent a resignation letter.
Then he won't come back.
He didn't sit in Tamale and resign. He traveled. They were asking, why is this man not coming again? And he sent a resignation letter.
Probably we should have taken a cue from there to know that no, there's something there.
Now, Dr. Atik is an excellent medical doctor. He's the man in charge of kidney or dialysis at the facility. That is why he was able to explain properly to the minister when it comes to the issue of lack of water. And he was saying that they need enough water at the kidney or dialysis department because of the consistent nature of people coming in with kidney problems for dialysis. That is his expertise. And I think his calm nature also cost him, and he could not put his foot on the ground. And I'll give more reasons. Now, if you drink Coke now and you complain about how bitter it is, and they change you Fanta, and you complain that it is still bitter, it means it is your mouth that is bitter and not the drink.
I get it.
If Akambon could not, Kolbila could not,
Dr. Karim
could not, and Dr. Atik could not, then the current CEO cannot do
it. It's not the issue of CEO.
It is not the issue of CEO.
But they say if we build strong institutions,
right,
I'm not sure one man can make things go bad. Because if the institution were to be strong,
right,
we have several directors there. I'm not sure. I mean, one person will come over and then have his way around.
So I think at a point, someone must wake up and say, these are the problems around the facility. Point number 1, the minister, Robicon, when you entered the lobby, the whole place was full of cobwebs. They went to emergency. Before they came out, the cobwebs were removed. Who removed the cobwebs? It means it was someone's responsibility to do it,
but they didn't do it,
and the person failed. It means head of cleanliness is a problem one. I didn't understand why Dr. Valentine was giving explanation about the washroom, because it is not his job. It is the cleaners who are supposed to do it every 3, 4, 5 hours.
No, the Valentine. I don't know whether this guy can show the video.
Yes.
Where they were having the arguments and why he was trying to. No, this one is when they. So those of you who are on Facebook, I'm sure you can see the videos. This is the Valentine. This. You see, I think his facial expression shows frustration.
No, he was frustrated. This guy is doing a lot for the unit, and I mean, I'm happy with that. The unit is smashing this.
Yeah, sure.
This is a young guy who is doing a lot for the red zone as head of department. But it is not his duty to wash the washrooms.
Yeah.
So he shouldn't have kept himself in such a situation where he cannot explain himself well. Now, to even explain that, people go in there. Look, I was asking questions. When they were looking for the keys to the washroom, who locked the keys? When they heard the minister was coming in, Who locked the washroom?
So this is the CEO, the sacked CEO. He's the one in the white.
That's Dr. Atiku. You understand, Robicon? Who locked the facility, the washroom? And why did the person lock it? What was the motivation? Now, when the minister tried to enter the washroom, he couldn't stand the stench.
Then he turned around.
But Dr. Valentine was trying to explain. I don't know why. Because you are not a cleaner.
So this is the minister. I think this when they were entering. This is the CEO.
And the light went off 2 times.
No, you see, this is a sabotage game. You see, I think there's a problem. So this is the Jonathan. He's still the one going to open the place.
Dr. Valentine.
Dr. Valentine. Sorry,
because it is his department.
Okay,
he's the head of department at the red zone.
So he went in with the minister and the CEO.
Yes.
So I think
the ceilings, the bulbs were not working.
Only 2 bulbs.
Only 2 bulbs were working.
Oh my goodness.
You see. So he couldn't stand the stench. See, he was shaking his head, and Valentine wanted him to come back and just feel it. Oh, you understand? Dr. Valentine also wanted to talk about something bothering the facility, but he was trying to speak at the wrong place at the wrong time, because by then the minister anger was high. It was very high because of what he was seeing. He came because of ventilator issue and ICU, but he came and saw more than what he heard and read about in the media.
So look at this,
right?
With what we are seeing currently, you see the ceiling ripped off. I mean, there's unkept restroom.
Right.
I mean, okay, if we don't want to add power outage, water.
Yes.
This is an administrative issue.
Right.
There is a director of administration.
Sure.
This is just an HOD of one particular.
And we have head of cleaners.
So that's what I'm saying. Administrator.
Yes.
All of these people fall under.
I agree with you.
Because you see.
So let me give you this information.
Right.
In the past, cleaners were under the nurses.
Okay.
So because the nurses, they man the ward 24/7. Doctors come and go. Your nurses also come and go, but consistently, there are periods you see nurses for long. Like you cannot go without seeing a nurse, but there are times you can go without a doctor. In some cases, the nurses will have to manage the case, awaiting the doctor to arrive. So when they were under the nurses, anytime there's a mess, the nurse will authorize the cleaner to come and clean the place. When there are accident cases and there's blood spillage, the nurse will authorize the cleaner to come and clean it. I don't know who and why. Someone came and took the cleaners and kept them under administration.
Okay.
So now a cleaner will just come and pick rubbish and go home.
They don't even mop.
And when there is anything spillage of blood, a nurse will have to clean it with a mop.
Yeah. So yesterday,
or some instances, a doctor will have to pick a mop to mop the floor.
So I mean, Bernard, you come back to the studio now. Yesterday, someone called me, and this guy is a security person.
Right.
He called, and then the narrations he was giving, he said, "Look, the CEO is a good man."
Yeah, yes.
I do not really until recently. Until yesterday. I think this current CEO, he's been able to manage himself from the media to the extent that some of us you didn't know him.
Yeah.
Until yesterday, I never saw him.
Yeah.
So when the security guy called me and said, "Mr. Robicon, you see, our hospital that naunzo kan yelama CEO ma o katale."
Yeah.
Because ko problem in yele.
No.
But ashibitima timalandreba na 4 people be that they have. You are speaking in the band. Some of them are here. He said yes, and I don't know if I'm sure I can even mention those names.
Yeah, you can.
But you see, when he said that there are some 4 people, and anytime, because he has worked with the hospital for a long time, and anytime that a CEO comes, and those 4 people, he mentioned the 4 because he's saying that yes, these are people like they mostly exactly, they can visit chief palaces and then do anything that they want.
Yeah.
So anytime a CEO
they've
comes,
been there for long.
Exactly. Anytime a CEO comes, they make the CEO understand that they have worked in the hospital for a long time, a lot of time. So they have historical. They have memory about the facility.
Yeah.
So they have their way around. And in so many cases, if that CEO happens to be a corrupt person, you see that he gels with them properly. And even he said in recent times, it's not been possible because there are certain things that the CEO will certainly not agree to, and they will do whatever it takes to move you out. And that is what they've been doing. And now indicated that there was one time one of the CEOs, he mentioned, I think he wanted to mention Akambon.
Yeah.
I think when he took over, he decided to visit even the overlord and then some other chiefs who are around, and then also let them understand the challenges they are facing, and but they are working to, hold some of these things, but they are having some petty issues at the hospital, and some people are not ready to do the work. Right. I think the CEO actually went to do these things, to explain these things to some of the chiefs. Yeah. Now that this group of what's it called, directors, heard about it,
the chief called them and told them to behave. This is the report.
So they now went there. They've
angrily to now work against the CEO.
Exactly. So when he narrated all that, then I realized that no, the problem cannot be solved. I realized the problem cannot be solved simply because if those people, he said no, that right now only 2 of them are left.
Right.
Then he mentioned one doctor. Tido or something like that.
Mr. Tido, he's not a doctor.
Okay, I don't.
Unless of course he's now a PhD that I don't know.
Okay, so I mean, he mentioned a number of them. I don't know any of them, and these are just allegations.
Yeah.
So he said, look, that these persons are making it difficult for any CEO to survive. That, but one of them, he actually mentioned your boss's name. He said one of them is Haruna Boy. So he has gotten an appointment. He's gone to Accra. I think he has left.
Okay.
Leaving that, but currently there are 2 of them.
And he was part of the problem.
And he was part of the problem there because he has always been using, I think, leader's name.
Okay.
To be, throwing his weight about.
Okay.
So this cleaner narrated. I think he's a security. Sorry. Okay. He narrated these instances, and there's even one problem too. He said, look. Some people go to meet chiefs,
right?
And beg the chiefs, and the chiefs also being as they are. They are supposed to also help their people and all in one way or the other. They will come and intercede with the hospital. So yes, so what happens is that these people will get the jobs, but they will not. Nobody can. Assign them to do anything. Because like they came under some authority, so even if they are asked to do something, they will actually not do it.
This lady who is brought in by an MPP regional executive before they exited power as a cleaner. She's not doing any work. She's taking salary. Politics, and you see, Rubicon. I'm saying this man, it will be difficult for him to survive because if they fail to remove all those people in that chain, this man is going to even last for only a year and leave the place. And the same people who were mentioning Dr. Atik's name, they will go and take him out of the office. Personally, I have told you my position that if they had asked me, I would have told them to allow Dr. Atik to continue. I want us to depoliticize that unit. The CEO job, we shouldn't do too much politics of it, especially this one in Tamale. But I wish one day a former CEO can just come out and speak his mind out.
No, but I'm not sure because they are still in active practice. Many of them will not do that.
No, but you are no more in the CEO's office, so that it will serve as a guide and the public will know. But you see, it casts a certain credibility tag on them.
No, I have spoken with one of the past CEOs.
You will tell people will see the person and they feel this is the fired CEO who couldn't do his work and he was sacked.
I have spoken with one of the past CEOs.
Right.
He told me that look. I begged him for an interview. He said, no, look, Rubicon, let them have their place. Let me just go and sit down in peace. And just do, if my time is up as a doctor, I'll retire and go and rest. I don't want problem with anybody. And I believe many of them are equally with that mindset.
So you see, look at what they are saying. If you, Rubicon, you didn't want a problem with anybody, would you have tabled this matter for discussion? If I didn't want any problem with anybody, would I have agreed to come here for us to discuss this matter? Because I don't also want problem. I also love peace.
No, but the thing is that you are not employed in the hospital.
No, I don't.
So you may not have anything to lose.
Look, are you telling me if something is wrong with the structure of the university and we need to speak out to correct it, I shouldn't talk?
No, to some extent, I'm telling you won't talk.
How?
Because maybe you have not sworn any oath of secrecy.
No, we have.
At the university.
We have.
Fantastic. So
there's nothing secret about. There's nothing secret about someone. Rubicon, I'm coming. There's nothing secret about someone stealing hospital money, and you are saying security.
Hold on. Security. No, you heard them blaming the what's it called, the health minister. The Ghana Medical Association, saying that he did not need to source information or any update in the presence of cameras. They have a conference room. They could go into the conference room and sit with the staff, I mean the head management, and ask those questions.
That I agree.
So it was not going to be possible for you to also come out, whether in the media or anywhere.
But in the conference room, it was not only 2 people. There were more than 20 people sitting in there. The political actors and the health professionals. So of course someone would have carried the information out and let Robicon know that so and so are the problem of the facility. So you will bring it out without mentioning the person's name. Do you understand the point I'm making? Now, we have had instances where patients will have to go to the facility and use their money to buy disposable gloves. Patients have to go to the facility and use their money to buy cannulas,
which is completely terrible. It's not, I mean, unacceptable, especially with the government facility.
When you go to the procurement or supply unit and disposable gloves are expiring in the office.
I've been part of a team that went to the Balahai landfill site.
Right.
The TTH invited us that they want to some expired product.
Right.
From the, I think that's the stores.
The stores.
And when we went there, the things that we saw that they were going to burn.
Yes.
Then I told some of my guys that, look, but maybe somebody died because the person couldn't get this.
Exactly.
And then one of the officers said that many of these things arrived expired. I said no, I don't think it's possible.
No,
because
some of them they expired there.
Because you go to the stores,
right?
You see even blood. All of it they were all parts of things that they burnt at the Balahai landfill site. And I said that maybe somebody was even looking for this blood, but they have hoarded it because somebody was not ready to release some money. They allowed the thing to expire. Medication, a lot.
But some of the blood, for example, when you are doing screening,
okay,
before blood donation, there are some conditions you don't screen for it, especially when you go out, for mobile donation. You go to schools for them to donate, especially the senior high school. Some of them you go and the senior high school students, they are HIV positive. You are just checking to see whether the person's blood level is up to the standard to donate. When they donate and you come and you screen and you see HIV, hepatitis B, you can't transfuse it to another person. Those are the ones they are discarding, because as for blood, it doesn't expire. You understand? So those ones you could see it, not because someone could not even pay for processing. But Robicon, you go to OPD, you won't find wheelchairs. But when you go to the stores, you find electronic wheelchairs there. And if you are a staff or you are a politician and you come, they will give you to use it and bring it back. You can even take your patient to the house and bring it back to them. So the poor patient deserve not an electronic wheelchair, but a politician. Just because a party symbol is on your chest, you can come in and take the electronic wheelchair. They are there. The CEO can go check and see whether they are there or not, and check whether the wards they have wheelchairs or not.
So I mean, has there been an instance where CEO you have to take a detour of the entire facility? I mean, whether weekly or even at least I'm not sure you can do that on daily basis.
So that is where I also have a problem with the structure or the organogram as to how they select the CEO position. I think we have to look at it again. We have to rethink and get administrators to man it. Though those administrators should have a background in health, so that nobody can come and use medical jargons to confuse you.
Fool them and go.
Dr. Karim could come from the house as CEO and enter the ward and leave the ward at 6 p.m. Dr. Atik, he will come as CEO. You won't find him in his office. He's at the ward attending to patients, at kidney patients. So where will you even get the time to tour the facility? That is why I was saying that it's not about the CEO. It's about the chain, because the CEO, when you come in, you are not just going to be sitting in the office. You are going to be performing your role as a doctor in the ward. You ask any pharmacy, they will tell you. That's what they do. You can go to the ward and you spend the whole day there. Before you close, you are a human being, you'll be tired.
Of course.
The next day you come back again, you are going to the ward. So you won't even have time to tour all the facilities. But that's why you have head of departments at all the facilities who are supposed to help you do the job. So those who are not doing the job, that's why I was making an argument yesterday. And someone was saying, no, everything lands on the neck of the CEO. And I said, you see, yes, in other facilities it is a CEO. But TTH is a different ball game together.
Yeah.
The CEO is a doctor who consult and go to the ward and attend to operations. So you can't have the time to tour. You cannot have that time. Small time, the Minister of Health will need you. You fly to Accra.
But what you?
I am coming, and some of them have private facilities to run.
So they have no time checking in.
They don't have any time. So we have to relook at who is qualified to be a CEO, because he's running his own hospital. Number one, Robicon. Number two, he is obliged to attend to patients at the facility.
That means it's possible that the person may not even have any off day.
No,
because if you are not in private sector, you are certainly with the government.
Or you are at a meeting in Accra, the minister will call you, or the directorate will call you in Accra. So you won't have time to tour the facilities. That is why I am saying that responsibilities are shared. Robicon, you have finance officer here. You have programs manager here. You have a producer. You are a host. If the programs manager is failing, we shouldn't blame you entirely because you trusted him before keeping him there. But you shouldn't also lament like I am lamenting. You fire the person.
Yeah, but because
if you can't fire the person, report the person.
No, but you see, if you look at the intensity of work
at the hospital,
yes, small radio station like Radio Tamale, because me, I have the time. I monitor every program. I am here 2/4.
Right.
So this is a small facility. But if I'm looking at TTH. And I'm considering the workload at TTH.
Yeah, it is big.
And they say that the doctor to patient ratio is very low.
Very.
If you look at the nurses are even quite better.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the doctor patient ratio, I think there's a lot that we need to do in that area.
Yeah.
Now, the issue has to do with the conduct of staff.
Some staff.
I mean, well, I do not even know whether some are doing well or some are not, because the image,
some are doing wonderfully.
No, you see, the information out there in the public is that almost, I mean, the entire TTH is bogus.
Not the entire TTH.
My language. But you see, if you consistently have issues of this nature happening, and then it appears we sweep it under the carpet, it comes the moment they change the TTH, the information, I mean, the conversation dies down. No one is digging to understand, are there some petty things? Because the place, we are told that there's issue of religious difference, there's issue of tribal difference, there's issue of political
difference,
and all crippling the hospital.
Yeah.
How do you eradicate these things?
Robicon, you see, all these things boils down to incompetency. In this your station, are you all the same tribe?
No.
Are you not functioning well? Are you not? It is fidelity for your profession or the job you are given. Look, Valentine is a young man who is supposed to be going around the wars. He's in charge of all the accident emergency units. Red zone, yellow zone, orange are all under the responsibility, the care of Dr. Valentine, that young man.
Okay.
How can he be fully responsible taking care of all of that? Adding that, if he is your personal doctor and you are not fine, you call him to come and see you in the house. For example, nobody can sit down and say the Yana should come to the hospital or Yabla Machina should come to the hospital. Sometimes the doctors go and attend to them in the house. Even if they want to run labs, they will take their samples and go to the hospital. Those are some responsibilities as CEO. You can't carry it on. It's difficult. And look, TTH is a big facility. The polyclinics, the public health department, MRI, CT scans, cleaners, security, pantry where they cook, Robicon, pediatric wards, CWC, all of that you have to go through all of those places. That is why you have administrated as those various facilities. Robicon, why will you have wheelchairs sitting down in a store and patients who need it are not finding their wheelchairs? Who is holding it down there? So who is casting the whip? So that block of guys who will keep on saying that we are the owners of the hospital, we own the hospital. When a new CEO comes, we will welcome you and tell you this is how we operate. You either agree with us or we collapse you.
That's what.
And then when you agree with them, you do business.
I was surprised when they called the name of my friend Miss Bao. You know Miss Bao. He was the former PR.
Yeah, I know Miss Bao.
They say he's part of the problem.
Okay.
That they are all part of. I nearly called him.
so when these things comes up, an investigation into the matter is important, and I expect that the 3-member committee set by the Minister for Health should not investigate only the death of Saleem, but the lapses
exactly
in the hospital, cleaners, security, how they were employed. There are so many people on the budget or pay slip of TTH who, in fact, someone told me 50 or 70% are not working, but they are receiving salaries because of partisanship. Some were brought under Mills Mahama, some brought under Nana Akufo-Addo. Politics.
They are doing nothing, but they are taking salary.
But they are taking salary. Rubicon can be an administrator. You are coming to see that CEO to discuss something with him, and a foot soldier from either Kanda or Alutes is engaging him, and you don't want to leave him, and the next day you come and attack him, leaving you the essential person sitting outside because a political party brought him. You can, I mean, we can be political with issues, but we shouldn't be too partisan with it. And I'm saying that if the cabal is not broken, the chain is not broken, believe me, this man will not even last for a year.
You see,
he'll fail.
Someone gave me a message.
I'm not professional.
Look, someone just gave me a message. That's why I was looking at you.
Right.
Look, and I let me just speak on it a bit. You see,
right.
When I was starting, I said that I did a story about the hospital some time ago.
Right.
Even some of the directors and even the time Musa Superior and. They actually attempted to take me to court.
Okay.
So the directors wrote.
Who wanted to take you to court?
No, the hospital, the board of directors, and including the hospital directors. No, yes, the dissolved.
Board that was formed by Nanado.
Exactly.
And dissolved. Okay.
And the directors. I mean, they actually, the lawyers wrote to me and I responded. So they wrote again and I responded. I never heard anything again. But the issue was that, because of the way they were sabotaging the hospital, so I got some information and I was trying to do a follow-up to get, because they were none of them is willing to speak.
Right.
So I went ahead and just kept the story, and I kept the story in a way that these are allegations being made,
and it will force them to
exactly
speak.
So when I did that, then I was there. Yesterday I was just watching the board chairman. I was just watching his status. I said, no, now TTH issue has come up, or I should call him, because he was the one that was trumpeting a lot that they should take me to court. So he made the lawyers write to me. Then I responded.
Right.
And then so I met them at a particular event with an MPP event, and the Musa Superior held my hand and went to him and said, do I know this man? I said, no, I don't know him. He said, that's the TTH board of directors. Then we shook the board chairman. We shook hands. Then he said that this is Rubicon. They said, oh my brother, you are not correct. You are not. I said, what is the problem? Because you see, I had actually gone there, and I wanted to find out. These are some of the things that we picked up.
Right.
And they are serious to just, flash it out. Flash over it.
Right.
But they are not really. They were not concerned about the issues that were even being raised. They said, the journalists, you will not do your work well. And then I said, have I published it yet? That is why I'm here.
Yeah.
You will need to. Then I left the place. And then I went ahead and I did the story.
Right.
Now, all the people they mentioned there, from director of administration, there's somebody who is in charge of, like you mentioned, the cleaners, even security, head of security, and
procurement,
thank you, procurement.
Yes.
They have mentioned, even as I speak to you, they said there's estate director of, I think estate services. Yes. They have alleged that even the current one, I don't know who was there before, but even they are still telling me that, according to the information I picked, they will rent apartments for doctors.
Yes.
A doctor will not even be there.
Yeah.
They will later on go and remove all the ACs and things and go and sell. The doctors come there and nothing. When you come to pick the facility, they have to make procurement again.
Wow.
And this is what has been happening over the
buildings
period.
To rot.
And exactly.
Quarters.
Doctors' quarters. Do you know the one that is just at the back of St. Charles?
Yeah.
There's a particular.
Yes, I know those buildings.
It has completely deteriorated.
It's rotten.
And they tell you that officers who are in charge of some of these estate or facilities, they will be the same people
going somewhere to rent rooms.
Exactly. They will go and remove. Even remove the installations, air conditioners and other things. And a doctor comes and complain that the room that has been given or the space that has been given has no AC or has no this facility. They will now do fresh memos.
Yes.
To procure those things again.
And they inflate budgets.
Exactly. So you have bought something already.
Yeah.
And then a different doctor is coming to use it. You have gone to remove those things again. And then give it to a new person. The new person complained. Then you are now going to procure different things again. And this is what has been happening.
And again, I got information that some people, the laboratory is the gap between the doctor and diagnosis. Because the doctor cannot just say you are suffering from malaria or ulcer or typhoid, because these are 3 conditions that comes with the same symptoms virtually. Because this one comes with fever, it comes with abdominal pain and headache, right? So they will tell you go to a lab and come back. There are some people, according to information I picked, when you come for them to take your sample, they will tell you, they will ask you which test are you going to do. They'll look at the test. Oh, I have a lab somewhere like this. This test, we don't run it here. Meanwhile, the hospital will be running that test, and they will direct you to their own laboratory for you to go. So money will not come to the hospital. Ultrasound, X-ray, people have them at their private places. They will direct you to go to their private places and tell you this one is not working, so that you come and you pay, right? I spoke with someone in the heat of all these issues, an insider, and he told me you can see a medical officer who will bring his own installation into the facility, the hospital, and tell you when they are treating and they pay, the patient pay, 60% goes to his pocket and 40% goes to the hospital.
Wow.
I'll mention name to you after the program, and you keep it and wait for one day. So serious. It is not about the CEO.
No, this is a teaching hospital we are talking about.
It's a cabal. It's a long cabal.
It's not just one small hospital that you even say that, oh, it's just a little hospital. But this is a very big hospital.
A doctor who is supposed to be in charge somewhere, in a facility, will leave it for a house officer and run to go and do locum somewhere. Locum is when side job somewhere. Or the person is owning his own facility and he don't have time to sit and work.
Imagine when they refer somebody from TTH to a private facility somewhere, then that means it's very terrible.
Exactly. Meanwhile, we are supposed to have all the facilities that a private facility cannot boast of.
So where all the doctors that UDS trained,
yes,
where do they end up?
Some of them will run away because of frustration. They go to the hospital and they are frustrated.
A friend of mine who was a classmate, Edwin. He said, Dr. Edwin.
Yeah.
I was asking him, I thought you would have remained at TTH. He said, oh, Charlie, it's difficult. He can't work here.
The senior men who are supposed to work, they will not even allow some of the housemen the free hand. Meanwhile, even the houseman is not supposed to be that in charge. It looks like a permanent worker leaving a facility in the hands of a national service personnel. You can't take such a person to court because the person's name is not in a document to show that the person have the responsibility to hold it up. You get it? Now, when things are going wrong, we have the responsibility to speak about it. We have the right as citizens. In fact, even president, they insult them. Let's not make it look as if some people are beyond criticisms. And I read a letter, Rubicon. Once was it coming from TTH doctors or GMA, where they said, oh, the medical doctor is suffering psychological trauma. Rubicon, I was shaking my head. The writer of the letter, did he appreciate what Bafuk Saleem mother is going through now?
Somebody says that we are neglecting to. I have not read messages yet, but I don't know why the person is saying that's so. Which part did he say the young guy died due to negligence from the nurses? He said which part of the hospital? I think that's what he. That which part of the hospital did the young man die?
He died at the red zone.
So I think that's what Abdul Zakir is.
He wanted to know where. He died at the emergency. They didn't even take him to the ICU. He died there at the red zone.
It's
where
quite
he died.
Unfortunate.
You understand? So there's a long cabal, and this new CEO. I know you'll be laughing, but Charlie, he can't survive it.
Look, the thing is, I'll be surprised if the new CEO is smiling. He is even
Dr. Bauer, yes,
an embedded NDC man.
Yes,
I think he contested to be member of parliament before.
For Karaga.
The thing is that I really do not know him.
Yeah.
If not just this evening I saw his photograph. Right. But I think that look, the president should have hastened slowly. I mean, there could be somebody just would okay. Maybe they say he's acting. Maybe he's not fully made a CEO. He's just acting.
I mean, they're saying acting because of the lack
of a board.
When the board comes,
no, but I think that right now the president should not just hasten to appoint.
I had two opinions. My first one, I spoke with one elder brother of mine, ZK. He's at Ababu. The first one was that they should let Dr. Atik stay because he has received the backlashes. So he will learn from the heat. You don't just discharge him like that. Number two, they either should go back and bring Dr. Karim, like we brought a former president, John Mahama. Am I not making sense?
I thought you were going to talk about Akambong.
No,
but I know he will not want to
no,
take it.
not Akambong. I mean, Dr. Karim.
Because they said Akambong is a disciplinarian. He would have been able to handle
Dr. Karim is immediate.
Okay. That's
you understand?
And he resigned.
That's why I'm looking at.
He resigned.
He resigned. It means there's a reason. He was not sacked.
No, if he resigned, it means that either he was running away, fear of his life, or something.
So he could.
He would not even try to
come
take that.
And look at those issues. So we give him the political power and political backing to do his job without interference. So we would go and pursue him because he can't run away from his shadow. He's from here, and he's an intellect. He's a professional. So he will come in and we'll ask him questions. Why were you running? Secretly, maybe the appointing authority. Robicon.
Why did you resign when it was not even up to your man?
We wanted political. Let me just swerve a bit politically. We wanted JMBA because he committed his own mistakes and some were lies about him. So he alone can come and correct it, which he's doing now, according to my assessment of his office so far. So a former one in Dr. Karim would have done better because he has been on the seat and he ran away from the seat. Number two,
something was chasing him. Number two, Dr. Atik came and there are many significant things he changed in that short period. Honestly, in fact he confessed when the minister came that dialysis is not free under NHIs. It happened for a short period and stopped. But he couldn't communicate it because the government that brought him in as a makeshift after Dr. Karim, he couldn't talk about it. But now he would have been free to speak like the special prosecutor who saw so many things. He couldn't talk about it. But now
when the party that
appointed,
lost, he found his voice to speak. So Dr. Atik would have even been ideal because he was sitting on that seat and things were hard for him.
No, but you have not so measured his loyalty to the appointee.
Let's look. But Robicon, see, these issues, we should get to a point where we stop the partisanship.
No, because the appointee, the person
because you contributed money to print t-shirts, you are qualified to be ECU.
No, that's what I'm saying. The point is that he's looking at his appointee because if the person who appointed him,
yes,
he has, serious loyalty to that person. No matter the situation, he would want to, display his loyalty.
No.
So we have not assessed how deep is he within the confines of the NPP.
Do you know him?
I really do not know him.
Don't you know all the serious political actors in Tamale in the NPP?
So no, but some people are underground financiers.
That means they are not seriously opened. Maybe they are business people. They are secretly contributing. Do you understand the point I'm making? Because as part of the allegations people were making against him was that he started sharing sugar to some NDC guys because NDC, like, we have changed power and what have you. So it means that he's not that kind of political person. Maybe he was just trying to calm them down, not to come to his office and attack him like what happened to Akambong.
Previous people.
The way they went, NPP guys went and removed Akambong.
Baba Alasan.
Yes, the parachuting man. Baba Alasan, shout out to you. You understand, Robicon. So I think, in my opinion, he should have stayed and feel the heat, so that he will. Because around that moment, I was imagining whether he could sleep in his room. Throughout the period, the heat started. So he will use it to shake himself and stand. Then he can call Valentine, who was, you could see frustration written all over his face. Valentine, you see that the way the things were hot. What do we do?
No, but forward? Let me ask this.
Yes.
What is so different? Right. That look, like the Upper West Regional Hospital. Right. The new one, the one John Mama did. If you go there, it's a beautiful facility.
Right.
The first time I went there, I was really amazed.
Yeah.
We hardly hear things like that, maybe because it's still new.
Yeah.
Bolga. Yeah. We have several other hospitals. Yeah. We hardly hear a lot of these things. Party boys have gone to do this. Some boys have put themselves, they've gone to do this.
Yeah.
Even here in Tamale, we don't hear that with West Hospital, Central Hospital.
Yes.
But TTH, it seems there's a gold mine there that somebody is not telling us something.
So you see,
that's why I think there's a gold mine somewhere.
A health professional in the facility went and seized a whole plot and said, I will now be taking charge of the car parking on motor. Instead of focusing on your work, you are seizing a plot for motor parking.
Hey.
Is that one to a job? So the interest is just so much, even petty interests. And they have WhatsApp groups.
Oh, okay.
NDC nurses will have a group. NPP nurses will have a group. I mean,
and
you see,
I'm yet to see who survived there.
You understand? No, somebody can survive if at a point they have a Rubicon who will say, to hell to the politics. Job must be done. No, do you get my point? And we shouldn't focus much on who is a medical doctor to come in. I know that one is a professional politics. It's not a law in any country. It didn't come from the sky. Some people start because some professions came earlier. You understand?
Must the CEO be a doctor?
That's the question I'm asking. It can shift. We can get an administrator who have a health background. The person will sit in and within 2 years, trust me, TTH will change. TTH, besides offering health care, also is a business entity that must make money. That's why we call IGF, to attend to certain things within. You get it? If you have the autonomy to now pick your own workers, then you should be able to be generating money. Government should not invest 1 billion and you are bringing 200,000 back.
That's a complete loss.
It's a complete loss. Then the board is formed around a political party. That's why you saw a board chairman at MPP meeting. He may be an expertise, intelligent, but the person will come there and be doing political bidding. We have people who can do their job properly, but there are people who are like, for example, they are NDC, but not too partisan. There are some they are MPP, but they are not too partisan. You can allow them to do their work. You get it? Now, Rubicon, to some extent, somebody wants to win a traditional leader to his side and come and tell him, Chief, can you give me 2 people to be cleaning the hospital? So they are trying to win the loyalty of that chief. Now, can you give me 2 people to become securities?
They are buying the chief.
So they will bring them. So anything they come and tell the chief, you will listen to them, because probably you had a family member who was a liability on your neck. You relieved the person off your head. No matter what, even when they are killing people at the hospital and they come and report such people to you, you can't act.
Somebody goes there. He goes there with his bungma.
Yes.
How do they call it?
Yes, bungma.
Bungma.
And put a white towel on the shoulder. Meanwhile, he's a cleaner. And sitting like this.
A cleaner.
Which desk can ask him to come and
cleaner. You go there with your smoke.
Yes.
And then you put your white towel and wear a cap. And then you say you are a chief. When they say go and clean this, and you say no. I'm a chief. I don't clean.
When I was a porter, I will carry patients to the ward, and I come back. The whole place is soiled. You know what? The cleaner is a chief. You have to come and say, nah, they so. Nah. There's blood. And he tell you, just pick them up and go and mop it for me.
Because he's a chief.
He's a chief.
And they employed him as a cleaner.
How can he clean?
You can't send him to clean. I can't be.
You get it? Someone is a security. Meanwhile, he's carrying a bed to his house.
No, you see one thing I heard.
So who watches the watchman?
The gentleman, I mean, the guy that called me yesterday.
So Rubicon, the CEO is not sleeping there.
No, the guy that called me.
you as a watchman. Then you are carrying a bed to your house.
No, the guy that called me yesterday says that at the hospital, you know, they have a tailoring unit where they sew uniforms and all that.
Yes.
People bring
in the
things.
Past, it was completely free.
Now people bring things from outside
yes.
to sew.
Yes.
Even their laundry.
Yes.
People bring smokes
from outside for them to wash
and bring and the boys there who are managing the laundry.
Yes.
They are bringing clothes from outside to wash at the laundry. Now when the thing spoils, they'll go and tell the manager, hospital management, that the thing has spoiled. So the hospital have to cough out money to repair it. Yes. Meanwhile, they are taking people clothes from town to wash for them at the hospital
and make money.
And this is what has been happening over the period.
Yes.
Now some of them are hoarding medications.
Yes.
They ask patients to buy medications that they don't even need.
Yes.
And then they are selling these medications to people in various pharmacies.
Yes.
And see, just like we had this issue at the port where they are selling they sold containers and cables.
Right.
It's the same thing.
Yes.
They go and procure things they don't need. you send a patient. Look, you go to the hospital, you'll be frustrated because you see some patients or guidance get frustrated. I bring my sick person there.
Yeah.
You know that this drug you don't need it.
Yeah.
But you have sent the man to be chasing around town.
Yeah.
Searching for that drug because they want to come and save a life. They bring it, you have no use for it. Later on, they can't trace to know whether you have used it or you've not used it. And then whether the person dies or the person survives it, that drug is for you.
Right.
And that's what many of the nurses are doing. Yeah. And you see, I don't want to talk, and then some of the nurses think that I don't like
some
nurses.
Some of the nurses.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. They will think that I don't like nurses. But I'm telling you, a lot of them are corrupt people. Very corrupt.
Some of them. Be adding the
I said a lot of them are corrupt. A lot are corrupt.
Yes.
Not absolutely everybody will be corrupt.
Right.
But a lot of them are corrupt.
Yes.
Because you see, they are punishing a lot of people. That's why you see, they should have been given some form of education to guidance and parents that come.
Yeah.
Look, somebody is having only headache, and then rush to maybe the emergency area or the hospital, and then meanwhile there's somebody already who is struggling with oxygen issue to survive. So they want to attend to the person before they attend to the headache person.
Yeah.
And he's saying that he went there and then people neglected him.
Yeah.
Because they've not gotten the education that look, the person with that particular respiratory issue is much critical compared to just your headache that para can kill. They have lacked the kind of education that is supposed to be given to the people. In all these things, have you heard any PRO speak? They can't speak. If you speak, you are in trouble.
No, you even crash yourself. Robbie, can see laundry. You mentioned laundry. Laundry consumes a lot of electricity.
Oh yeah.
The hospital is paying a lot of electricity, but the things that they are washing, majority of them belongs to outsiders.
Fugu.
And yes, and someone is taking the money.
Look at the way it's heavy and dirty.
Pocketing the money and going home. After washing, they don't just take it home. They use the hospital lights to iron. On Saturday, someone who is having a wedding will come to the hospital and be waiting for his clothes to be finished by a tailor who is employed to sew nurses' uniforms. Robicon. They bring food to the pantry. Someone is carrying the bag of rice and maize to the house. Foodstuffs are going home. How do you blame the CEO for all this, for all of this? So people are failing on their responsibilities, and those who are seeing, they are not speaking. And come to communication, Robicon. Someone will come to the laboratory. I am coming to run full blood count. For example, full blood count, you do the aspiration, and then the results will display. Now, a doctor will see you and ask you to go for full blood count, right? When you go, they take your sample. A villager like me will come and be waiting for them to give me results. Meanwhile, you are going paperless. Tell me that I should go back to the consulting room and sit and wait. Because when you finish running the test, you are going to send it through a system to the doctor. Now, I am sitting at the lab waiting for the results because you didn't educate me. The doctor is also sitting at the consulting room, mentioning my name for how many times only God knows. And because he's tired, they'll go home and I'll be sleeping at the lab. Meanwhile, my results came so long and I was not there to check. Robicon. Now, you talked about someone coming with a headache. That is where even some of the security don't understand, or some of the lift operators. I once took patients to the second floor. Then I came down when I was a porter there, and an old man wanted to use the elevator to the top, and the security man, and that's many years ago, was like, we allow only emergency cases to pass through the elevator. Robicon, what is an emergency case? Do you know the BP level of the person who wants to use the elevator?
You can imagine that.
If the BP level is around 250, 120, if he walk again, he will die on the stairs. But you see him standing there so healthy, looking so strong. But the person case is much worse than the person who is lying on the bed struggling. Do you get my point? May his soul rest in perfect peace. Chief Hafiz Jamana. He drove to the hospital and died.
Yeah.
But people struggle on the bed and they walk home.
You've reminded me. I mean, going to TTH, Demana had taken me. He actually took me to TTH so many times because of some of the things that he said. Robicon, Charlie, I've gotten some information. Let's go to TTH.
Right.
We'll drive to TTH. We will go around the entire place because he was mostly dealing with the security guys and other guys that are there. And you know the way he used to talk.
Yes.
So he brought my attention to TTH Lord Moore. So when even the day he came here, that was on a Friday.
Yeah.
And we did a program. The next day he died. So we actually spoke on the morning show on some of those things. Because he actually, okay, they say, oh, it was heart problem and those kind of things.
Yeah.
They even told him not to be eating certain things. But you know, for him, he said, we eating nothing. Those kind of things.
Yeah.
In those kind. So we went to the TTH with a lot of, issues that were lingering, where even nurses were doing business, bring things to come and be selling at OPD,
right,
and all those things,
yes,
which were not. And then some of the people called on this particular FM station and they complained that if you have a sick patient and they tell you to go and buy malt, some of the nurses are selling malt, canned malts and other things. If you go outside and buy it and come, they will intentionally delay you and not attend to your patient unless you buy it from them. And
you see some, like you see a worker holding both fruit and something going around selling. Meanwhile, this is a contaminated place where you are not supposed to eat food in that environment. It's not a good environment to eat food. Look, it is not even only the emergency unit too. Robicon, go to many of the units. Nurses will go to work, Robicon, and when they are pressed, they will have to force themselves throughout and go to their houses and use washrooms. Some will have to ride when their homes are closer, home to release themselves and come back. And the cleaners are doing nothing about it. Robicon, when spirit, sanitizer, many of the logistics come in and people carry it to their homes. You go to the homes of some workers, you see chairs belonging to the facility in their houses. You see beds. So it is a whole syndicate, not only the CEO. So if you focus too much on the chief executive officer, we would have a problem.
You know when NDC won,
right?
We saw boys run into the hospital and they were even cars that they said they were spoiled cars at people carrying fridges and running through the nursing college.
You can imagine.
People went into the hospital and they were grabbing things and running.
So where were the security?
That's the point I'm even coming to, because you have security at the hospital.
Yes.
And I'm not sure they are just some 10 security men. There are a lot all over the place. And yet people are, who even told them that these things you can come and pick them at this time?
That probably some security man just
give them a hint.
Fridge here.
You see, I don't know how they do their recruitments.
Yeah.
And how they get some of these people there who are just not, they are just there to survive.
They are not fit for the job. They are not fit for the job.
Now there's one particular thing.
Yeah.
You are a doctor, so I know you may want to shy away from that.
Which one?
The conduct of contemporary nursing.
Yeah.
Especially the young nurses today.
Right.
Many of them, I'm telling you, they have very terrible attitude. Especially now with the advent of mobile phones, Android phones, TikTok and other things.
Yeah.
You are shocked that TTH as a busy hospital like that when you are on duty, you can be on your feet throughout if you don't take time.
Right.
But still some of them get the appetite and the time do TikTok, go to social media and do all the nonsense. And if you check, they are not just the matured or learned old nurses. These small girls who have left senior nursing training colleges, they are the majority today when you get into the hospital. How do we expect them to be professional? Because some of them got to nursing training college not because they have the passion today. Because those days you could say somebody is going to to be a doctor or a nurse. It's already a passion in the person.
Right.
Currently, some of these young nurses went there because they were chasing allowances. Alawa took them to nursing college. So they came out, they don't have any passion for the job. They are into social media and that is where they survive. You see some of them even in uniform and they are displayed even at the hospital facility. And when they tell them, I recall a young lady came out and was explaining herself that she had just closed and was in the changing room and was doing a video. Then you understand that the person has gotten the priorities wrong. There's a reason why they don't allow military officers to even be on uniform. If you see one doing that, they know the circumstance under which they are doing some of the military people. They know the discipline within them, and that's why you hardly see these things. But the nursing profession is a different thing. They tell somebody that, don't keep long beard. I think it's not accepted in the profession. You don't leave your beard like this man's beard. He can be a nurse. They will ask him to cut it off because your beard
you can easily carry bacteria.
You can carry bacteria and go home.
That's right.
Now you see one issue that came up the last time. I think one of the nurse, Hajia Rahina.
Okay.
He was at the registry. What's it called? Their registry at the Senate Tower.
Okay.
I think they have the nursing.
Nurses and midwifery.
Midwifery council.
Yeah.
She was telling me that, look, you see, even this issue about hijab they are talking about, it's not because they don't want them to wear hijab, but those things, when you come to the facility, you can pick bacteria and go home.
Yeah.
That's why they don't wish that they wear.
So if you are wearing, you tack.
You know how you tack it.
Yeah, the small
but
one.
many of them do not know these things. So the moment they and in charge want to cancel them in this, they blow it out of proportion.
Even the niqab. I mean.
Exactly.
When you are coming to the service, you are not allowed.
So these are some of the things, and some of them make
some
long
patients
hair.
have perception about it. So
and some of them make long hair and come to they say no, bury them in.
Yeah.
Or don't even make long, just keep short hair because you see you are coming.
That's why in the past nurses were barbering their hair.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Today, these young girls who think that it's about pumping bomb and making good chest. They are the ones.
You are watching.
They are the one. No, you know.
How did you see that?
No, you know. So you see, Facebook has even been abusing some of us. Sometimes you are passing through Facebook, you don't will to see. It's not your will to see some dirty pictures and all that.
You see, then you come back.
No. I just. You see, if I had my way, I'll stop. Going on to social media because some of these things are corrupting us. But in any event, these young nurses that I'm talking about is very bad.
Yes.
Especially the way some of them conduct themselves.
It is.
They don't have the passion anymore.
It is two ways. I know someone conducted a research that was in 2019, and he used the nurses, one of the nurses training colleges within Tamale, to conduct that research, and he realized that 80% of nurses, many people who wanted to do nursing, especially the young guys and young girls, were doing it because of job security.
Got automatic posting.
Some and that starts with allowances, which you mentioned.
They want allowance.
Exactly. Regardless of the higher the fees, because when you go to the nursing school, you pay higher than the university.
And it's the same with the teaching.
So someone who do nursing pay more than someone who is doing degree nursing at UDS, for example.
Yeah.
And UDS person will pay once in a year. You pay per semester, and they pay more. Yet they want to go because of job security, but not because of the passion for the job. Then they come to the ward. They can bring an accident case, and a nurse will run away.
They don't. They fear blood.
So if you can't stand blood, then you cannot attend to a patient. Are you getting me? Now, besides that, like you mentioned, some they don't have the orientation. Even in school, when they are teaching them, they press phones. They don't pay attention. So they carry that attitude to the hospital. Meanwhile, the hospital as CTH was supposed to be putting on check how these students are trained and how they are brought in. And
that's why it's a teaching hospital.
That's why it's a teaching hospital. And I was saying that, look, why not we make it a way that the hospital in doing or conducting their interviews, it should be so strict. After your interview, do background checks of all those prospective guys you want to pick. Know their character. Some you can cancel them before you pick them. Do you get it, Robicon? When you get in there, let them understand that nursing is not a profession to show beauty. It's a profession to save lives. Not only nursing, laboratory, doctors, etc. Pharmacy and all of that. All the allied health professions, they all need that orientation. Are we together? Now, Robicon, some of the phones we see in the world are two. Some of them are really on social media, sharing videos, sharing pictures, etc. But some of these laptops, majority of them, especially the flat bigger ones, are the patient history because it is paperless now. So it is not the ordinary phone that is used for social media, but the patient information is on it. So for example, because of the lack of respect for the patient, sometimes the patient will suspect that you are really doing something on your phone. Meanwhile, you were working for him or her. Robicon is coming to me as a nurse. Then I ask you, what's your name? Then you mention Robicon Monason. Then I ask your number. You mention your number. Then I type in. I am looking at your history Meanwhile, because I didn't raise my head to smile at you and tell you, oh, Robicon, your medical history is here. That's what I have to, you deserve the right to know.
But I think this is just a drop in the ocean, one out of the many. You see,
No,
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. No,
doing it?
I'm not sure.
They may not
Look,
even be
even
doing
no
it.
matter how illiterate you are,
Yeah.
you move to a hospital and a nurse is on a computer or even let's say a palm top or
Right.
whatever
Yes.
device
tablet.
it is,
Yes.
the tablet it is. If the person is using it for the patient's purpose,
Yes.
the patient will know.
Yes.
The patient will know.
Yeah.
If somebody
Some patients can know.
yeah, no,
Some are there. I am coming.
Uh-huh.
It got to a point where the tablets were short.
Mhm.
So now you connect your own phone. So you
Wi-Fi?
use that, no,
or
not
the
Wi-Fi.
phone. I mean the
limbs.
Okay.
They will connect it onto your phone.
No.
So when you come, you will not be looking for a tablet. You can use. So now you get into the hospital. You are now using your phone, but you are not using it for social media.
No, you see, that's why I said
You are
it's a
using
drop
it-
in the ocean.
Yes.
The point is that, like, for instance, I am seated here.
Yeah.
I just go on to maybe Facebook or TikTok and see a nurse put a phone like this,
Yeah.
live on social media,
Oh, yeah, that one
whilst
you can
working.
know. Yeah, you can know.
So these are the instances we are talking about. We
Yes.
know that there could be other uses for the phone
Yes, yes.
at the facility because you want record keeping and also
Yes.
on. But in recent, you know the what's it called? The nursing council.
Yes.
They actually revoke, I think, the certificate of one of the nurses some time ago that did was in a uniform with the boyfriend, and then they were doing some, and she actually claimed, I think she was on social media,
Okay.
and she claimed that she had just closed and was in the changing room and doing the video.
Yeah.
And they said no, you are still denting the image of
Because you are still in the
because not
facility.
everybody will even be able to say that yes, you were you explain Taya.
Who agree with
And
you?
and so they redo it. I think they even banned her for like. But later on, I think some pleadings went on the
They
backstage.
brought her back.
So recently, I saw her on social media and said, "Oh, now I don't do those things again." And they granted her an interview because you see, many of the young people.
Right.
Yes, there are some exceptional cases that some of them are using it based on. Maybe probably even lights out. But they still wanted to keep some
that's
record
quality
later.
quality assurance.
Exactly. So, but some are equally not. They are not just there.
So it means that people are not holding the professional ethics to a higher standard. Some people, some are holding to a higher standard. For example, when I saw GME later, I was like, where were they? Siri Boy and his people, where were they? They went to sleep for a whole 8 years, and now they are waking up. And even the reasons they were given, psychological trauma and what have you. Robicon, do you know we have mental health doctors who can just go to the ward and a madman will rush on him, and the next day you go back to the ward?
Of course, yeah.
Don't they know anything called psychological trauma? What are we talking about? Because a minister and a doctor is challenging each other on video. Psychological trauma on the doctor, but not on the minister.
No, you look, you and I, we are fully aware that
People shouldn't
our
be
profession,
playing with
in
us
these
like
professions,
that. Yes,
there are two NDC and PP.
right.
So when people are doing this, I told you this afternoon that I watched their news on the TV.
They
A
disagree
banter
with each
between
other.
a banter between what's his name, Habana guy, what's his name, Thomas Anab, and then one other gentleman, because he had just spoken and then throwing blames and all that.
Yes.
Anab
And they
is
connect-
equally an NDC and an MP.
Yes.
And he won't agree.
Yes.
So you see, it will become NDC and MP. Now, if they eventually they say they are declaring strike, some people will be on strike, others will not be on
No,
strike.
you can't declare strike on this matter. You
That-
cannot.
that-
You
no,
cannot.
I have heard them asking for apology. I said,
No,
which one is apology?
From who? So who is apologizing to Saleem and the relatives?
No, you see, and
I mean,
besides that,
sometimes
the minister is
people are given unnecessary power in this country. Even the president, Robicon, who pays a doctor, a nurse, and a lab scientist, they insult them. Do they stop and leave the seats? You see, we are not holding people high to the standards. Let me say this, Robicon. People lack understanding of what happens when you go to do undergrad nursing. Robicon, you go to do undergrad medicine, undergrad laboratory, undergrad pharmacy. The government pay your tuition for you. When you went to do your besides your postgraduate, your undergrad, the government pay tuition for you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So that government have the right to put you on check.
No, that's what I'm saying.
You can't just come out and you start threatening the state government.
Doctors.
You don't
We
have
know
that
that
power.
government really, takes care of their training.
Yes.
The thing is that the political element is causing a lot.
The political element in that profession.
But you see, this particular matter, I don't think that the Ghana Medical Association can drag it far.
No, they don't have a case.
I don't think they can drag it.
They don't have a case.
And you see, me, I'm even happy that they have not touched. They have not touched the guy. What's his name? The other doctor, the HOD.
Dr. Valentine.
Valentine.
Yes.
I'm happy that he has not been touched. You see, if I were probably the president, such people I'll make the CEOs. Because the guy almost anywhere I hear they say, oh, he's a great guy. He's an excellent guy. Yes. These are the people you give that leadership because they will have to. I mean, they will have the time to do all the tours and all that. Yes. And make sure that the right things are.
And he honestly does a lot.
But you see, I am really much surprised the TTH is always in the news every time. A CEO must go. A CEO must go, and I think it's
so
really
now
not
it should
helping.
go beyond
it's
the
not
CEO.
helping.
Rubicon, now it should go beyond the CEO. If the government wants the current CEO to survive, he should go beyond the CEO. People must speak. They must come down. I met a friend, a big brother of mine, the day the minister visited. So we're having a conversation on the sideline, and he was telling me, look, doctor, even if they sack the CEO, nothing will change. Then I asked him why. He said, oh, Rubicon, even TTH, it is better you go. If you are a staff, it's better when you go to the hospital, don't let them know you are a staff. If you let them know you are a staff, you are in serious trouble. So even this letter coming is just a pretense, pure pretense. They don't stand by each other. It's not like someone is playing around the gallery or trying to play politics with it. You are a staff. When you come there, you even introduce yourself. I'm a staff. Someone will ask, so what?
No, you know, I've been abusing my listeners a lot.
Right.
Mostly, I can come on this program and forget to even activate phone lines.
Okay.
Or even read their messages.
We are 4 minutes to the end of time.
You see,
right.
And I know if we leave here without activating phone lines, it will be another matter. So let me just listen to a few people, then we can wrap up. Yes. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Recon.
Tell me your name and go ahead.
Yes, this is Carter Bako, reaching you from the NIA.
Go ahead.
Good evening to my big brother, Seidu Fita, and good evening to our cherished listeners. Recon, in fact, this particular letter that was issued out from the presidency in the name of sacking the CEO of Tamale Teaching Hospital, in fact, it was a shock to me. There is a big problem in the facility, Rubicon. It doesn't lie on only one person, Rubicon.
Which hospital do you work at?
West Hospital.
West Hospital. Okay, yes, because somebody gave me info that you are the kind of nurses creating problems at the facilities, and that's why I'm asking.
Rubicon. If you make a research in the West Hospital, they will tell you my story. But I'm not going there right now, Rubicon. I'm not that kind of nurse, Rubicon. The matter on the issue is, in fact, there is a problem in the hospital, and we all know it, and we've been talking about this problem, Rubicon. It's not about the CEO. You understand? It's a system failure in the facility, Rubicon. Every department has a head, Rubicon. So all the challenges at the departmental level, Rubicon, how are they channeling those challenges to the CEO? You understand? And if those challenges continue to persist in the facility, Rubicon, are they being able to provide these challenges, or this that the facilities need to run, which is Rubicon? When the minister came and identified those challenges, it has been more than 24 hours now, Rubicon. We have led intensive care as only 4 beds. Is that not the case? But after the 24 hours, when the minister visited the facility, the minister has not given any solution to this particular problem we are talking about, Rubicon.
But just yesterday, nah.
Rubicon. Less than
so by the time
hours.
maybe probably some cement bags are on the way coming. You don't know.
less than 24 hours, the CEO was stuck. Is that not teaching? So that one is easy to do. You understand? So if less than 24 hours, those staffs who are working there and patients who need this particular intensive care unit to save their life. So they shouldn't go there.
Okay, thank you. I think because of time, I need to give opportunity to a number of people to also contribute. But I think some of you have shared your messages on Facebook as well. I will, read a number of them before we go. Yes, good evening. Yes, hello, good evening. Oh, sorry. Okay. Yeah, hello. Oh, I think because of the network, I'm picking, but it's not going through. Sorry about that. Let me just take you off. Yes, hello. Oh, that's bad. That's really bad. Sorry about that. So 0200060766. I don't know what's the problem. This should be a network problem because I'm answering and it's not responding. So let me also take your.
Interestingly. I've just seen a comment by Napatia Suleimana, who was a board member of the Tamale. He said, TGH has its water tanker, just that it supplies water to staff instead of the hospital.
To staff bungalows?
To staff. So when they were saying there's no water, and she's saying, as a former board member, that because she was part of the recently dissolved board, that there's a tanker. But the tanker is feeding only staff's houses and not the hospital.
Hello?
Anyway, good evening.
Good evening.
Tell me your name, go ahead, quickly.
My name is Lukman. I'm a student from UDS.
Go ahead.
Economics.
Go ahead.
Yeah, my point is that I think firing the CEO is the right thing. Because he's the overseer over the whole hospital. And we have something in finance, what we call principal agent problem. When the principal sits down without doing his job, then those agents under him will cause the problems. So I was saying that all these problems in the hospital, the CEO don't know anything about it. Then if he doesn't know anything about it, then he's not qualified to be a CEO. Because you are the head, you are the manager, the full authority you have it. So you're supposed to do all those steps. Run through from the head to the lowest. But what have we done? We don't know.
Okay.
So if the new one comes, we pay to change the directive and make it a
okay. Thank you very much. I'll pick one last person. Just 3 people will be okay. Because sorry, I think we went into the time so much. I know there are so many guys. I can even predict those who already start wailing and holding me to tax. Yes. Good evening.
Yeah. Hello, Mr. Robert. Good evening.
Yes. Go ahead. Tell me your name.
Yeah. This is Mr. Isaku.
Go ahead.
Away from the line of color. Thank you so much, Mr. Robert. Mr. Robert, in fact, the topic you put, what they call it, you are discussing so far, it makes my heart to bleed. To bleed because you and I are all at risk. And what they call it, it does not only cause panic and fear. It's also what you call it, reduces people's confidence in that very important facility, whereby anybody who is referred there will feel reluctant to go there because of fear of not receiving quality service. It takes unity and teamwork for that facility to function to the benefit of the people. The too much politics need to be detached. Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
The too much politics needs to be detached. Mr. Robicon, we have laid down what they call it, standard operational procedures. That's what the experts are supposed to follow. And we also equally have code of ethics and professionalism being established in 2018 to guide service providers to be able to do their work well. What I deduce out of your discussion is core leadership, number one, and then the supportive monitoring and supervision by all heads of departments. Because you don't just allow the nurses to be working, but you also need to be supervising them. And now what I also realize is the mode of recruitment. Who is supposed to be recruited? How are they recruited? Is the human resource manager being able to monitor their work to make sure that they are doing their work well? These are the things that we need to look at.
Okay, all right, thank you. Because of time, sorry about that. I'm not even sure the messages I can attend. If not, I'll eat into the next program. Let's wrap up. So let's conclude with our conversation.
Yes. So Robicon, I think that the new CEO, he has a lot of work to do. Because it's not going to be easy for him, I can assure you. And like I said, if CEO Atiku is going, then the whole chain must go down. If they are not necessarily sacking people, they must
at least they must restructure them.
People, you understand, they must check, because there's an attendance level at every institution. When you are able to, when you absent yourself from work for so and so dates, you are going to be fired, Robicon. Or there must be KPIs. If you don't work up to the standard, then the contract be abrogated. They sack you. You understand? That's when they can be able to reduce their budget, where they employ a lot of people as security, they employ a lot of people as cleaners, and they are not doing their job. When that is done, that's when TTH can make a lot of money, work on people, give quality services. Then we can regain our name back. But that doesn't mean the facility is not working. Anyway. Wonderful. I mean, if I collapse right now, the best place you can take me to is TTH. You can't take me to any other facility, because
but I'm told that West Hospital is doing well these days.
Even Central is doing well.
But Central, I mean, of late, even the workers are saying that nothing they happen. Their issues are even more.
Casuals have their staying limit. When you get to that limit, you don't need anyone to tell you go home. And like I was saying, some of them are sub chiefs brought by the big special person. I am medical superintendent. I gave you temporal contract. The time is up. I'm not making you permanent. After the 6 years, you can go. But they can't tell you. If they tell you, you will go and report at the chief palace.
So you allow the person to be lingering.
You allow the person to be. So when they are tired, they go home.
Oh no!
You understand?
But they will keep on complaining that you owe them. Now, if you won't tell them, they will tell you that you owe them. That's what we are seeing.
That's why they are only crying they can't go to court. Because if they go to court, they will be defeated. Because they were not supposed to even be there again. You understand? No. Because per law, you can't be temporary worker beyond 6 months.
But when they come, they do the work. You also see them. You allow them.
Yes, because they just love to work.
Charlie, thanks so much.
Thank you.
I was grateful. So sorry, I mean we are not able to take a lot of calls. I can see.
Dedi kama mamena PENDREAM TV ase. Na so far so good. Say open online portal e wo Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV. I see a lot of people are moving from the traditional media to the social media. And PENDREAM, you are setting the pace because you bring the issues as they are. And the focus on those are the issues. And then Unipa are not ready for just ordinary endorsement. But people want to hear the issues. What are the issues? What are the possible solutions? So for me, I'm endorsing PENDREAM TV. And I'm recommending Obi Biana who affiliated traditional media and why you're bored with it, I'm going to live up to expectation. Your next last stop, PENDREAM TV.